eating at a buffet can be a good deal, but may it harm your health? One woman claims that after eating buffet food, she got sick from fried rice syndrome, is seeking $1 million in damage. This is a 62-year-old woman, went to an Asian food buffet in Texas for lunch, started vomiting, apparently had some breathing problems the next day. After a hospital visit, she says it took months to recover, believes the buffet is to blame, although they deny their food made her sick. And we were chatting about this whole phenomena of fried rice. And there is such a thing. If it's left out too long or reheated, there's something known as B. cereus. We remember learning this, Bacillus cereus.
Exactly.
And what's interesting is you can really show symptoms quite quickly from B. cereus. Within 4 to 6 hours of eating something like this, you can have severe vomiting.
And I think apparently this woman was severely dehydrated and went to the hospital and had to be admitted to the ICU. So there has been a long-term sequelae for her. I guess the question I have is $1 million really justified?
Is it worth it?
I mean, I think people should be compensated if they get sick, but where do you figure out the amount
and
that's
did anybody
fair?
else get sick? A whole bunch of people are eating the same dishes that are sitting out. We don't have any information, Your Honor.
Well, this is where I would like
that
to...
anyone else got sick. We do know that fried rice does have a unique propensity to retain or attract this bacteria.
So this is where the worlds of medicine and law coincide. So these are the facts of the case. The question is, if you go out to dinner and you're eating raw foods or at a buffet, are you assuming the risk? Because if I said this last time, if we start giving out $1 million judgments every time someone gets food poisoning, there will be no more restaurants because eventually they will not be insured because every time you get food poisoning, if you can sue, it's going to be a problem. And I don't have the answer. I'm just the judge. I'm going to get a jury. You are the jury.
Well,
but it's...
I think it's an important point, too, because people's bodies, especially depending on their prior medical conditions, respond so differently to infections or food poisoning. So I know in that oyster case, we talked about a very specific autoimmune process that was triggered by the food poisoning that then resulted in a horrible neurologic condition called Guillain-Barré. But you couldn't have predicted that. And I think in this situation where this woman, the 62-year-old woman, she was so exquisitely susceptible to dehydration that she got super sick versus someone else might have just drank some fluids, had some electrolytes and been okay. So when you start bringing in people's own individual predispositions and how much sicker they may get, can you really consider the restaurant responsible for that?
I mean, is her condition an intervening event that caused the illness and not the restaurant itself? But I mean, we all do have to be careful. If we're going to buffets on a regular basis, especially if there's raw foods that haven't been cooked, and you know, we don't know how long the buffet has been set up, how many hours things have been sitting out. So
buffets are risky.
Yeah.
Let's just call a spade a spade.
People
Every time you reach for the ladle, everyone else has touched the ladle. Now, it doesn't mean that I don't eat at buffets, but doggone right, I'm curious, and people can spit in the food and all these other crazy
cough.
Yeah, it happens.
So
people
that's
cough.
the case anytime.
Fecal contamination.
But what I will say from the legal perspective is I do think there is such a thing as malice. And so let's just say you're a restaurant and you intentionally, or you know your food is bad and you know that it's outdated, you know that the meat was raw and then you still served it. I think that's a different story.
Sure.
Then just, if you go out to dinner and you're eating at a buffet, there's a chance you're gonna get food poisoning. There just is. And if you eat at home and you've put a buffet out for yourself and it's out all day, there's a chance you're gonna get food poisoning. You have a party at your house and the food's out by the barbecue all afternoon, those 100-degree temps, those aren't cooking the food, those are allowing those bacteria to proliferate. So just be aware.
The take home is know your own medical condition and any medicines you take that suppress your immune system.
Before you do your hammer and hammer time, docs, do I have to throw away my leftover Chinese food?
Yes. If you have not refrigerated it, throw it out.
How about if it's been refrigerated?
I always say the sooner you can get your food in the refrigerator when you're done eating it, if you're gonna reheat it later, just get it in the fridge ASAP.